Texture. This refers to the touchable quality of a surface. It can be real or it can be implied, with lines and values to appear as if there is a touchable quality. When describing texture, you need to explain the touchable quality. How does it feel? Is the surface smooth? Is it rough? You need to use those descriptive words when describing texture. In the winter, I love to visit the snow, but it can be wet and it can be cold, so you better wear a pair of gloves or your fingers are going to freeze off. I love to pick up the soft powder snow and pack it into a snowball and throw it at somebody. Did you realize I just showed you the touchable feeling of texture? Now let's apply it. Here are examples of texture within artwork. Let's describe what we see and possibly could feel. This two-dimensional sand painting represents the element of real texture. The surface of this painting has areas of the background that are smooth to touch, but also areas that are rough and grainy, where sand has been applied to the letters, giving them a real, tangible texture. This also has implied texture where the artist has created hard, jagged edges to block letters, implying that they would feel solid and sharp. There is also a design in the background that has spikes drawn on it, implying a sharp texture as well. This Native American yarn coil basket represents the element of real texture. This three-dimensional object can be touched and held, creating the tactile quality of real texture. One can feel the soft fibers of the yarn on the body of the coil pot. The coils themselves create a gentle and rhythmic bumpy texture as you run your fingers from the top to the bottom. The feathers that decorate the rim of the coil pot feel soft and fluffy. The square metal charm attached to the side has a sharp, hard texture that contrasts with the softness of the yarn and feathers. In this digital photograph, the image capturing oil and water demonstrates implied texture. Because this is a two-dimensional photograph, one cannot actually feel the texture, which is why it is implied, meaning you can imagine what it feels like by reading the visual clues. One can observe the bubbly, gooey texture of the oil as it floats on the smooth, wet texture of the water's surface. In the video, we see implied texture because it is a series of two-dimensional photographs put together to create film footage. The surface appears to be hard, brittle rocks hitting a smooth, slippery, reflective surface. As the rocks hit the surface, a dusty powder is kicked up, and as smaller, gritty rocks continue to fall until all the pieces rest and are silent upon the reflective surface. The objects in the video are real, but the two-dimensional film format references implied texture. The ingredients that represent texture are white, soft, fluffy marshmallows, runny, watery, sticky red strawberry syrup, and rough, bumpy, sandy-feeling chocolate chip cookies.